Boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about this morning. The Epstein files just dropped, or, the second round. Still not all of them. Woo! The veil is lifting. The house of cards is falling. And it's about time. We've been in this power over paradigm for over 6,000 years. A dominance paradigm. Long enough for us to forget that it's not normal, it's an aberration, and it is not a reflection of who we are as human beings. 6,000 years of tyranny, oppression, subjugation, slavery, dominance. And we're in this trance, like, this is just normal. It's not normal. Humans have a much longer, more peaceful legacy. And I'm breathless because I'm hiking and I'm clearing my throat because I have morning throat. So excuse me for that. I'm just starting my day. But it's unscripted, so you're gonna get me in the raw. Yeah. Because it's not natural, this power over paradigm that we've constructed out of fear and power over, not power with, it was gonna fall. It was gonna fall. So this thing with Epstein, a lot of folks are like, oh my God, it's an aberration. Oh my God. This is something that's just, some news item that is not who we are. And, it's isolated to America, or it's not isolated. And it's not just now. It's been like this. It's been like this for 6,000 years. And you can ask people of color, Native Americans, Black people of this country. It's been like this. Rape, murder, pillage, executions, torture. It's been like this. So, as these titans fall, celebrated people like Deepak Chopra and Peter Attia and Bill Gates, the venerable Bill Gates, as they fall, it's my dog in the background, and we all kind of pearl clutch, like, how could this be? No, this is the way it is. And one of the reasons why there's been so much commiseration and compliance and complicity is because no one wants this fall. It's gonna be so hard. The entire economic system, political system, industrial, tech, everything is going to fall away. Life as we know it is going to fall away because this power structure that relies on complicity and silence, that stands on the shoulders of good people, when it tumbles, we're all gonna feel it. And God knows it needs to tumble, right? This stuff is ugly. But I invite all of you to peer into this Epstein file thing because it's a good, hard look in the mirror. It is. It demonstrates who we are, who all of us are across the globe, not just Americans. It demonstrates who we are. We have to look in the mirror. This is who we are. And it needs to end, and it needs to change. But it's not going to change unless we look in the mirror. So many years ago, in my early 30s, I was living overseas, traveling to many countries, working kind of in the spiritual self-development dimension and domains. And I made a friend in Holland who disclosed to me that she was part of a pedophile ring web, where children were tortured, killed, experimented on, raped. It was so shocking to hear, because I couldn't believe that humans were capable of such darkness, such evil, except I'd heard about it, of course, in World War II Germany, Hitler's Germany. But what I learned from her was there was this intricate web of people in power, and policemen, judges, doctors, lawyers, everybody keeping it all in play. Now, why would people want to abuse, torture, kill, mutilate children? What the heck? And I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but what I want to say is that when I heard her stories, and by the way, it was her father who was sort of head of her particular ring's hub, but she named some names. She named some big names of folks high up in the highest halls of power across the world. Names I will not repeat because it's not safe. And so in my naivete, I called Interpol, the International Police Unit, told them about this pedophile ring and how my friend's daughter was kidnapped and taken for these purposes and all this thing. Do you know I was laughed at? This was 30 years ago. I called the authorities. I was laughed at. You're crazy, they said. You're making this up. You're overreacting. We've never heard of anything like this. And yeah, I took the bait. I took the bait. Thousands of people were abused by the Epstein cabal. Not just Epstein, not just Ghislaine, but you name them. Abused, complicit in the abuse. No one believed them. People still don't believe them. People don't believe me when I talk about my own forms of domestic violence that I experienced at the hands of my ex-husbands. They don't believe me. I don't care. It's on them. Because humanity's waking up. And the truth will be told at some point. And this is important. So, for those of you listening in America, for those of you listening around the world, this is not a US problem. This isn't even an Epstein thing. This is an us thing. This is humanity's reckoning, where we've taken ourselves, where we've been silent, where we've been complicit, where we have allowed power to corrupt. Absolutely. So back to that question of what would drive a human to want to abuse, mutilate, rape, kill a child? Well, it is because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when you have so much power that you are outside the law, that it becomes a game of what can you get away with, what are you entitled to, and the sky's the limit. You keep pushing edges. And I know this because I've danced with some evil people who I will not name because it's too dangerous. And what I saw in the blueprint of that kind of evil was there's this thing that sets in. It's almost like a mental illness in the brain. It is a mental illness of so much power and so much wealth that the new frontier, because you keep needing frontiers, you can't stop. You need frontiers, you need Mars, you need space. The frontier is how dark, how evil, how forbidden do I get to have it? That's it. It's that simple. It's like alcoholism. Just another sip. Just another fix. And it feels so good to torture this child. I want more. I want darker. I want deeper. I want more forbidden. Simple. So simple. So, this is our time, people. Do not let the hijacked news and media channels lull you into sleep and make you think like you're a minority. You are not a minority. People are afraid. They're afraid to speak up. And you'll find you're in a room of 100 people and you may be the only person speaking up. Speak up. Speak up. Speak up at the dinner table. Speak up at the PTA meetings. Speak up in the board meeting. Speak up in your business. I am watching with a keen eye some of the kind of, the ones who are voices, the ones who have airtime, who I used to respect, who I followed, influencers, coach influencers, well-being influencers, personal growth influencers. I'm watching their silence. I'm unsubscribing. You're using your platform to be silent? Are you kidding me? You have thousands, millions of people who trust and respect you, and you're being silent? You're being apolitical? Well, you're not being apolitical, and you're not playing it safe. You're actually, the dog takes a dump while I'm talking about this. You are actually being a coward, and you're being amoral. Because this isn't about politics, people. This is about morality. This is about kindness and compassion to our fellow human. This is about love versus fear. And which side are you going to be on? Because there is a side, okay? You can't, what about this? You can't be balanced and fair, because being balanced is a toy for the power over paradigm. They want us to be balanced and mature and measured. No. Use your voice. There is a righteous rage brewing. Can you feel it? I can. Don't let the new age industrial complex tell you rage is not good and clean and pure. Use it as a nuclear reactor to inform what is right, what is good, what you need to say, what you need to do. And for those of you who've experienced firsthand the abuse and violence of the power over paradigm, particularly if you're white, because Black people and Native American people and people of color have been talking about this for centuries, But if you are white and privileged, shout it from the rooftops. I was raped when I was married by my husband. I was abused by my school teacher. My boss sexually abused me when I worked for him. And whatever it is, this is more than me too. This is, hey, this is the truth. This is what happened. We can release our own little mini version of Epstein files. And this is who did it. Men and women. Men and women. Many of my friends and clients are men who have suffered mightily at the hands of these systems. So it's time. It's our time. You've been waiting for this. You were born for this. The veil is lifting. The house of cards is tumbling. And the Constitution is only a piece of paper unless we fight for it. Same with the rule of law, pieces of paper. And the last thing I want to say is, for the last 12 months, I've been sort of going, well, where are all the movie stars, and where's Hollywood, and where's Obama, and how come none of our leaders are speaking up, and where are our influencers? Well, guess what? Guess where they all are, with some exceptions. There's some good ones in there. Guess where they are, people? They are in the cesspool of evil, benefiting financially from their silence, their complicity, their turning away, their spiritual bypassing and spiritual up-leveling. That's where they are. They're cashing their paychecks. So this movement is in the hands of those of us who could lose a lot. We're going to lose a lot. I mean, I've worked really hard to have the life that I have. I have worked so hard to have the business EQUUS and the ranch, the horses, and this amazing team that is my team at EQUUS, and that family and the family of clients. I've worked so hard, and I'm kind of mad because right when it came to its sort of apex, I have so much to lose by speaking out. I do. I could lose my life. I could risk my children's lives. But there are thousands of you who follow me and read me, and I'm going to use that platform for love. And love is fierce. Love is so fierce. I have seen and have been trained by and been in the strict tutelage of my alpha mare, female horse Artemis. And she has taught me how uncompromising and fierce love is, and reliable and boundaried. So, what would Artemis do? That's my question to you all. What would Artemis do? Look to your alphas in species that have endured far longer than humanity. The horses are 56 million years. And guess how they had that longevity? The alphas and their females and good males. Look to them. Look to the wolves. Look to the elephants. What would they do? What would the alphas do? And stand in that somatic experience of uncompromised strength. That is not power over, but power with. I'll see you there.